We're at Lone Pine in the Birch Creek Valley, looking at the area homesteaded by Jim Dyer, an Idaho state senator who passed away in the 1940s. And right behind that old log structure is the 10,400-foot mountain that bears his name, Dyer Mountain. First climbed in the summer of 1990. We are on the grass steppes of the Birch Creek Valley on a ridge, and our destination will be to get down in that canyon, Rocky Canyon, very aptly named. It looks like a rugged canyon. The hardest part today will be getting the motorcycle down in that canyon, going up the canyon about 7 miles, and then commencing our hike. We are looking at Meadow Peak, Bell Mountain, the Incredible Hulk, and the gentle grassy slopes of Game Traverse. Speaking of game, we have seen abundant antelope today. Squaw 2, Diamond Peak. Let's get our bearings at a fork in the road. We're heading for Rocky Canyon with a view of Meadow Peak and Bell Mountain. The Incredible Hulk, its neighbor to the south, Rust Peak. And there's the awesome Rocky Canyon. And that's Lexi's Peak at the head of one of the forks of Rocky Canyon. Coming back on the motorcycle, that'll be our challenge, busting our hump trying to get back up that hill past that Forest Service gate. Then our dirt track takes us down past those bossies into the bottom of dark Rocky Canyon. Okay, we're down in the canyon, and whether we can get out of this with the motorcycle remains to be seen at the end of the day. This is definitely the most challenging trail I've ever had my motorcycle on. Right now we're trailing cows up this really narrow canyon. It's a great cow path. Apart from the cow crap, it would be a great hiking trail too, and it is a real challenge on the motorcycle. I guess those bossies are a little unhappy that I'm here rounding them up, but we've got a nice meadow. The canyon bottom is flat, although it's rocky, as you'd expect from the name of the canyon. That's Rust Peak straight ahead, 10,700 and some. Well, Rocky Canyon was getting too rocky for my 185 centimeter trail bike, so I parked it. We've been on foot for the last 15 minutes, and that's our destination, the brow up ahead. We have these wonderful interspersed meadows here in Rocky Canyon. It's a gorgeous fall day. There's been a little bit of frost here in the canyon, but it will warm up nicely. The aspen trees are finally changing color. I just took a still photograph from this spot. We'll see which comes out nicer. It's 11 a.m. and that shot you just saw, we will take that again on our way back, and then you can compare the morning light with the afternoon light and decide which you like best. The aspen trees are the showpiece today, that's for sure. The base of Rust Peak is emblazoned in gold. We're coming into the forks of Rocky Canyon. We have the brow just barely within view to our upper left. And as we scan the meadow here at the forks, we will be taking the right fork headed towards Lemhi's Peak. You and I were standing on the summit of that mountain 1 week ago. Another golden aspect of Rust Peak. As we look into the right fork of Rocky Canyon to the main crest of the Lemhi's, we hope there is a trail going through those spruce trees. This will be the ascent route for Rust Peak, probably next fall. Thought you might enjoy this high meadow here at 9,000 feet. I think we'll stop here for a bite of lunch. This is the meadow that I saw last weekend from the summit of Lemhi's Peak and thought, well, maybe I could get a motorcycle up in here. Well, after scrambling up Class 2 rock, I am convinced it'd be impossible to get a motorcycle up here. What looked like a nice trail up top is just a dry wash, the bed of a stream. It didn't seem like fall last weekend, but this last day in September, it does. There's a tinge in the air, and it's quite cool in the shade. Things are turning gold and orange and brown. If the ridges were intoxicating last weekend, the meadows make us dizzy today with their awesome beauty. This section deserves a name. Let's call this the Golden Staircase as we work to the crest of the Lemhi's at elevation 10,000 feet. This makes the entire trip worthwhile. A bighorn sheep. He doesn't feel threatened because he's above us. If I were above him, it would be a different story. I wonder how he plans to get ready for his winter. We're still on the Golden Staircase. with Lemhi's Peak on your right. We're on the 10,000 foot crest of the Lemhi Range, and behind me you see our destination, the brow. We'll work our way up that scree field. We've just worked our way up this south fork of the right fork of Rocky Canyon, and in the distance we see red colored Rust Peak, and behind it Incredible Hulk. Our next task at hand will be to scramble up that 1,000 foot north ridge of the brow. I look forward to seeing you on the top. Okay, I just saved you the agony of defeat. Defeat can be upstairs or downstairs, if you know what I mean. And now all you have to do is sit back and enjoy as we ponder these last few feet to see if the top of the brow has been climbed. And if it hasn't been climbed, you can be first today with the first ascent. The peak towering behind us is our next door neighbor to the south, 12,197 foot peak, Diamond Peak, holding some snow on its north cliff. Okay, here we are on the top of 10,994 foot peak, the brow. We will build a summit cairn and take a look around, and then do what we always do when we're on a mountain summit. Head down. And let's have a look-see from Diamond Peak. We will sweep to the southeast where we see Birch Creek Valley issuing out into the Snake River Plain, and we would have Rexburg in that area. Looking up the Birch Creek Valley with the Beaver Head Range in the background. At our foot is the North Fork of Pass Creek, which we descended earlier in the year. We descended down that scree field. We were coming from Lame Jake. And Dyer Mountain. We traversed that Class 4 ridge. From Lame Jake, we see Squaw 1, Squaw 2, and the Game Traverse. Rocky Canyon is quite impressive. This is the left fork of Rocky Canyon. Rust Peak, Incredible Hulk, Bell Mountain, the crest of the Lemhi's, Big Creek Peak is way in the back, Bear Mountain. We were on 10,946 foot peak, Lemhi's Peak, last weekend, and we followed that saddle to and from Amy's Peak. In the distance, the Lost River Range, Holly Mountain is in the Little Lost River Valley. King Mountain. Nicholson Peak, Joker Peak, the Riddler, and back to Diamond Peak. We have built our summit cairn, left a register, and we're going to head back down. For our route of descent, we'll head down into the Lemhi saddle and then drop down the scree into the left fork of Rocky Canyon. From there it should be a straight shot back to our motorcycle. Then the fun begins all over again. We're in the Lemhi brow saddle, and right here, this is the top of the lift, and you and I get to do some scree skiing. Come on along. That's where we're headed. Yahoo, cowboy! Ooh, this is good. It would even be good with snow. Oh, you hardy warriors on high that stopped the avalanche slides. We've just been bowling down that. Oh, majestic spruce, to know what you've seen in your lifetime. As I stopped to take some stones out of my boots, I wanted to show you the nice hiking trail here in the upper reaches of the Rocky Canyon. I had hoped to get some beautiful shots of the golden aspen trees, but we're in such a narrow glacial valley that runs north-south that I think there must only be about 5 hours of sunlight at this time of day. So we're in the shadows and finishing up our hike, getting back to the motorcycle. This is the exact same spot where we shot these trees at 11 a.m. and now it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon. We'll have to see what that looks like. I've marked this primo photographic spot with an ungulate skull. So if you're ever by here, you'll know just where we took these shots. Well, here we are. The hardest part of the climb will be to get the motorcycle out of this canyon. And back up on the ridge. Well, the Honda made it out, and so did I, not too far behind. We're home free. Hey, it was great having you along today for peak number 208. Let's do it again sometime soon.